And facing the facts of who's going to take game number one is real because both of these teams are relatively momentum-based for that matter. Whoever gets game number one will more than likely secure game number two, depending on if the coaches behind the scenes will be able to outdraft the team. And we see Greed just going for that face check onto Jay, not really going well. The orange will be secured here without any problem.
Yep, and here we see the Diggy in action. No. Obviously, JP knew that was up, and if I may say, I think in my head, prior to seeing this whole lineup, I was expecting it to be Raflisha once more on the Diggy. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, given the new statistics, or given the new effects of how deaths work and how streaks work, I think this whole Diggy strategy has been revived.
Yeah, that's true, but we have to take into consideration, though, that as long as the game keeps going forward and reach the 20-25 minute mark, we'll be seeing Diggy out of commission for at most 110 seconds. And that's a long time in Mobile Legends.
But only when it comes down the wire. I think Aura is going to find the power swing. They're going to find their window and make the most of it. That's essentially what the Alice is here for, and that's what Lord Hades is going to try to do here on the Yusun Shin. I love how they took one kill. They took one kill off of Kyrie. Kyrie needed that. Kyrie needs to stay in the game here. And JP, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's giving Kyrie some kills. They'll kill Kyrie, more farm. They'll give some kills, take it back, more farm.
Yeah, and speaking of more farm, top lane is being farmed here by Lord Hades, completely relatively safe as this Yusun Shin. He's doing a good job for himself, just staying alive and trying to just keep up with the damage output that Iyaku and potentially Hate will have later on in the game.
So what I'm guessing here Onic is going to try to do is to try to keep this economy as it is. Obviously, JP is messing with it. JP is that weird stock on the market that just like fluctuates and just messes everyone else up. But right now, if they can protect that, if they can keep themselves safe, and again, what's happening, ladies and gentlemen, is JP is feeding into Onic and giving them streaks for Aura to then bank in on later after a team fight. But right now, it looks like Onic knows what's up. Onic understands.
Mountain Shocker there to get information, but I don't think it's enough to provide the safety there for JP and the rest of Mpl-Ph. As Delar secures kill himself. Raflisha down and out of the count. JP pops the times journey, not enough as well. Greed, the only one left alive, will get taken out. Good start here for Onic-Ph to get that early game advantage to not allow Aura to scale relatively well in the mid game.
And here we see we're back to the status quo. Real quick, let me just explain, ladies and gentlemen. About 10-15 seconds earlier, before we see this gold lead by Onic-Ph go to about 1,000 or so, Aura actually was ahead. Now, to explain that again, it's because JP is banking in on kills for these different heroes on the side of Onic-Ph. And then what Aura's going to do is they're going to kill these heroes, stop the streak, and then get the gold back. So I think that's the goal game plan here. No, man, I don't think either team wants this to go the distance. Neither want to go past the 20-minute mark.
That's true. And, I mean, as long as you keep playing the game, everybody knows how it feels to play a long game. And Greed is actually experiencing a long stun there from Jay and Kyrie themselves. Woo! And it's not working well for them, for that matter.
Yep, it's because, again, I think Onic-Ph understands. They learned the hard way. They figured out that in an MPL game, they didn't do... well, you know what, benefit of the doubt, I'm not sure. I wasn't able to ask Ocho Gahaba if in their scrims they have experienced such... 2-minute long timers. Not even just 2 minutes. Actually, I think it went upwards. But yeah, they learned the hard way against Workhoster Force yesterday, and now I think they are all the more careful.
Yeah, and carefulness is, it comes alongside with the discipline. And if Onic can just be a little bit more disciplined, that would be nice. But at the same time, I want to see a little bit of the ruthless aggression here from Onic-Ph to really just scale Mpl-Ph, not allow themselves to go in the 15-minute mark with the Alice going haywire as well as the Yusun Shin.
Make sure that the kills on the Diggy are just for free, right? Like, again, this is such an interesting direction Mpl-Ph has gone, and obviously they are playing the economy. We've seen them do this before, and right now, again, Coach Arcadia, Coach Dale, they have found another window of opportunity to do it, but I'm wondering if it's worth it this time, if they have once more blindsided the whole metagame.
And that's the time journey used by JP just for the hell of it. Just to get information as well, and that's the other aspect of having the Diggy strat going for you guys. You'll be able to scout out the jungles without any consequence for that matter. Sure, JP dies and dies and dies, but you'll get information that will eventually transition into kills.
Not just information. Do know JP is rocking that retribution, so he can grab a stray ult.
Beautiful mountain shocker there, beautiful damage output as well from Onic-Ph. Deters Aura from even going for the purple buff steal there.
Yep, I think that's what JP was trying to do. That's what they're trying to set up for. But I think it was worth it. Again, diversionary play. Yeah, Benny suffers the death, but they are able to secure back-to-back turtles. Just one more before it turns into Lord here. I think as long as Lord Hades can somehow scale and then Benny can catch up, then maybe this whole Diggy fiasco was worth it.
Maybe, and that is the time's journey used up once again. Hate will not have his orange stolen, and Hate is doing pretty good for himself on that Granger. Yeah, he's 10-1-3, but that's all coming from that Diggy, and Iaknu is down.
Yep, they get Iakno down. Yeah, so again, there's this weird banking strategy happening for Aura, but I'm not sure if Onic is able to completely manage it. I saw shades of this earlier when Hate refused to kill JP. Hate refused to shoot that last round into the Diggy. And right now, Jay, he's trying to get one, and I think they're making the call don't.
Yeah, but they do get the stun onto Lord Hades. Iaknu diving in with the backlines with the Blazing Duet. Not a lot of damage output available for him just yet, but that is a 1-for-1 trade. It's a core for a core.
I think as long as it's not JP, it's worth it. See, look, they're trying to ignore him.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you should be playing the game now at this point. Just don't bother with the Diggy. The only time that you're going to have to worry about the Diggy is if he's up and if his time journey is up as well, as Greed secures a solo kill off of Jay.
Oh no, it's happening, Nomad, it's happening. Check this out. Aura now in the lead despite having 20-5. That's definitely a kill deficit. A quarter of what Onic has put on the board, but when it comes to the map, it's relatively equal. Aura has one turret up, but yeah, again, what's happening here is the banking strategy. Again, you're gonna see thousands of gold swings for Aura because of what JP is doing.
And just for the viewers at home, 16 of those 20 kills is just from JP. Make that 17 of those 21 kills. It's just on JP. So the score that you're seeing right now doesn't even matter at this point.
Yep. If anything, the score is what's indicative of what Aura's trying to do, of where they're trying to put the bank, and then they'll target that later on.
Oh, Iakno gets immobilized though. Beautiful dive in there by Benny Cutie. Wonderful timing to secure that turret as well.
Aura Philippines here playing the map, and Onic is finding it hard to respond. Essentially, again, we called it banking earlier. Now I'm thinking it's more like a piñata. You're slowly filling it up with Diggy innards. I'm sorry, that's very graphic. But right now, Raflicia's chasing Hate. I'm not sure if this is worth it.
It's not worth it. Raflicia's there, force the flicker out. Will still get bitten by the dog that Jay has. Not the Jay the dog, for that matter. Kyrie low on HP, getting singled out by Benny Cutie. Forced to use the Winded Touch in as well to survive a little bit more. Dilar managed to make it out alive in that team fight.
Oh, that was 2 kills short for Aura. Kyrie and Dilar get away with it with about 16 HP apiece. It's a randomly odd number. But yeah, JP, this is where JP lives, man. He lives right in between Onic Philippines jungle and in the face of Hate. And I'm guessing Kyrie. He's banking on both of them. Look, 14 on Hate, 7 on Kyrie. Once these piñatas pop, Aura's making bank.
Man, if for those people that have reached the golden age of YouTube back in the day, JP right now is being the annoying orange. It's always in your face. Hey, Apple. Hey, JP.
I can't say I remember, man. Not my generation.
Not your generation? Yeah, sure. JP once again falls down. There comes the Winter Truncheon once again by Benny Cutie. You just survived there. The Blood Orb flick the Blood Orb in by Benny Cutie will be more than enough. Rafflesia looking for an opportunity to really go into the backlines. He does manage to go into the backlines. The damage output is not enough here for Mpl-Ph. They can't go for the front-to-back type of initiation. Instead, they are focusing all their attention towards Greed. He gets taken out by Kyrie there. It is a 0-for-1 trade. The turret, though, is dropping really low. JP once again in the face of Onic-Ph here. Delar takes him out. Benny Cutie next in line here. Goes for the Winter Truncheon. Not a lot of sustain here. Goes for the Blood Orb in the backlines. Jay almost gets taken out, but Hate finally takes Benny Cutie out of the equation.
There seems to be trouble in Paradise. It has all been going Aura Philippines' way, especially looking at the map. It's a majority red as well. The economy swing. At some point, they were about 4,000 gold ahead, but it seems like communications went out the door. Aura Philippines had a plan, but instead of going all in, they went one by one, and now it seems like everything is crumbling. Roughly, just so deep.
Yes, he's so deep inside the jungle of Onic-Ph that he's playing the pseudo JP at this point, just getting information, but that should not be the play for Rafflesia, for that matter.
There's only one Rafflesia, there's only one JP, both though two-time MPL champions. Real quick, looking at how it's panning out, I think Onic Philippines, they have made bank, and here's what's crazy, here's what's dangerous about this whole Piñata strategy for Aura Philippines. I was going to say that there is a huge gap between items built for Onic and Aura because of this economic strategy that they're trying to pull off, but the difference isn't that big. Right now it's at what, 2,000, 1,000 and change? If you could make that much bigger, then yeah, maybe you could try to take 3v4, 2v4 fights, but it's just not the case. Right now, all it's doing is it's trying to keep much of the map, but by the way, Onic Philippines has been moving in the past 2 or 3 minutes, the past 2 or 3 team fights. They seem to have figured it out.
Yeah, and I like how Onic is just focusing their attention elsewhere. Just allow Iaku as much space as he can to dish out damage on the bottom lane. He gets the tier 1 inhibitor, the tier 1 turret and the tier 2 turret down as well. Greed in the backlines in a bad spot, being focused on by the members of Onic-Ph there. The Lord has been slain by Mpl-Ph, secured and signed and signature and stamped on. That is a 0-for-3 trade in favor of Aura, as well as the Lord out.
Efforts oh so official. I love it. It literally went through the perfect process, and Onic just was not informed. It came in the email, it went into their spam, they didn't figure it out. It was an official memo, and essentially it said, do not split up. Do not split up. And that's Aura splitting them up.
Yeah.
You saw how it happened, that Lord Hades was up there, still taking Lord. Benny Cutie dived in. Essentially, the fight extended into what, 3 different fronts, and that's where Aura wanted them to be.
And what Aura wants now is this top lane, because they're walking with the Lord here. JP low on HP, doesn't matter. He is a Diggy. He's just going to be a nuisance in the back lines and create a lot of space for this inhibitor turret to fall down, and it finally does. And if anything, Aura should start backing off right now because Greed is low on HP. A slight opening here for Onic-Ph. As soon as they take down the Lord, they can go for a fight, but I don't think that is going to come anytime soon. Then they are finally going in for a fight, just cha-chaing, just dancing around, because Delar does not have to be in tempo here for these guys. They get the Winter Truncheon out of the way from Benny Cutie, and Benny Cutie is down, but that is a 2 turrets down for a Benny Cutie.
Amen, brother. I think the whole deal was to actually just apply enough pressure to get as much from Onic Philippines as they could. And again, despite the whole back and forth, just like the stock market, if you're able to pull out at the very right moment, at the very perfect time, you're gonna get away and make a killing. Look at this. They are up now by about 6,000-7,000 gold. Aura Philippines, despite having their plans fall aside a couple of times in the past 13 minutes in this game 1, they're still making it work. And again, this is mission accomplished. By no means is this a failure. This whole Diggy strategy is working again.
And Green tried to go for the Mission Impossible there on that Lunox, trying to split push in the bottom lane, but gets found out by Selena. And we saw the rotation from Onic immediately towards the side of Greed there, and that's not a good sign for Onic-Ph.
They are answering. They are playing Aura's game. Onic Philippines, I'm guessing what they have to do next here is, as hard as it sounds, is, again, I mentioned this earlier in the panel, if you're winning, it's usually just a 1 to 2 step process. But if you're losing, if you are on the back foot here, just like Onic Philippines is right now, it's a 5 to 6 step plan. And one of them is to ignore JP. Again, easier said than done, Nomad.
Yeah, JP's just gonna start throwing out the time bombs, just spin around if he's dead. Just even though it deals 1 HP of damage, that's no more than enough to be a nuisance. Like, you can't back off. Like, you can't recall home if you're getting damaged out. And Onic, because of that, cannot push any further away than those initial cliffs in the jungle.
And again, JP doesn't mind this. JP doesn't mind this. He's rocking the pull yourself together. Again, we are approaching the late game. If anything, this is the earlier parts of the late game. 27 deaths on JP. Again, deaths do not affect your timer. It's just the game's length that affects your timer. But that's what the pull yourself together is there for. It lessens your death timer by not the number of seconds, a percentage. So despite how much it scales into the late game, it still somehow becomes bearable. So the strategy can live on. The strategy can continue.
And the strategy is still continuing for Mpl-Ph here to try to regain control of the map. There's only one inhibitor turret left for Mpl-Ph. They have yet to secure other turrets in this game, and you can't fault them. Aura has been doing a good job besieging the lanes, and now this Luminous Lord is up and running, has to be secured by Mpl-Ph.
You gotta at least try to go for the steal. And the way Hate is playing, I'm guessing there is a chance. He has to work very closely with Iyaknu. Iyaknu could come in with a lethal blazing duet, seeing that he is relatively farmed up. It's not like they're hungry or anything. It's not like they're getting choked out completely. But yeah, it is easier said than done. Oh!
JP low, Creep is more especially low. Lord will be secured by Aura, and the offense is now global for Aura. They're pushing forward. They secure a kill off of Jay. The Lar low in HP next in line here. Lord Hades and Rafflesia trying to look for an opening, but they will decide to back off. Instead, focusing their attention onto Kyrie here on that Selena will be forced to flicker out. Not a lot of escape options available for Kyrie now, and he will get taken out.
Again, the name of the game for Aura here is divide and conquer. The fact that they were able to separate Hate all the way down in their top lane and then have Kyrie get stuck in that bush up top, just waiting for the right moment, it just went and passed them by. Right now, they are going to go for this defense. 3 on 5, 3 on 6. Lord is here.
Yeah, that's true, and even though it's a relatively even matchup because Popol and Koopa is considered 2 heroes, it's not enough for Onic-Ph, but they are trying their best to go for the defense here. Iyaknu, low on HP, gets deleted by Lord Hades. Jay trying to survive as long as he can to try to go for the wave clears himself, as we see the ult being popped by Benny Cutie, more than enough to secure Greed the double kill and the game for Aura-Ph. 1-0 match point for themselves.